do so responsibly. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to explain how alcohol is absorbed and metabolized by the body, describe the effects of alcohol on the body, define binge drinking and identify some potential consequences, and describe strategies for responsible alcohol use. I'm not here to be the fun police. The strategies that we will cover today are to ensure that if you choose to drink, you can enjoy, last, and remember your nights, get home safely, and wake up without regrets. Oftentimes, we try to rationalize our behaviors to downplay their significance or potential impact, particularly when they're socially acceptable. Yeah, I may drink a lot, but at least I don't do meth. When thinking about dangerous drugs, many people skip right to the illegal ones, without realizing just how harmful the legal ones can be if used, misused, or abused. Alcohol and tobacco, two legally and socially acceptable drugs, kill more people annually than all illegal drugs combined. Significant? I think so. I like to use this time in class to gauge the mindsets and knowledge base of the students and then teach off that. After all, I want to provide you with aha moments, where information is presented in a new way or from a perspective you haven't thought of before. These are the moments I live for in a classroom. I cannot do this if I don't cover anything you haven't heard before. Since we're online, that is difficult to do. Nevertheless, I've taught this lesson at least 100 times by now and have a good handle on the teachable moments. So let's begin. There's an asterisk beside if you're going to drink, because this applies to those that choose to do so. If you do not drink, I applaud your decision to keep a clear head. For those that do drink or plan to do so in the future, I encourage you to know what you're putting in your body. If you do this, you tend to make better decisions. If you know what you're putting in your body and you know what counts for a standard drink, you can count your drinks and stop before going over your responsible limit. I recently had to change the verbiage, know your limit, to know your responsible limit. In asking students to define limit, I found that there was way too much gray area. Too many students thought I was referring to the amount of alcohol their body could handle right before blacking out. This lesson wouldn't be titled Drinking Responsibly if that was the case. I'm referring to the point where 1 or 2 more drinks would hinder your ability to make responsible decisions. This limit is much lower than many students think and can change from night to night depending on several factors, which we'll discuss in a little bit. To get on the same page, I use this standard for what is classified as responsible by the Department of Motor Vehicles. If you're of age, the responsible limit is having a blood alcohol content, or BAC, under 0.08. So how do you know what your responsible limit is? When I ask this question in class, students always say, you got to test the waters. This chart can give you an idea, but you may have to do a little trial and error. Now, I'm not giving everyone a permission slip to consume alcohol, especially since most are under the age of 21. You make your own decisions. If you do want to experiment, it should be done in a safe place where you're not going to drive, surrounded with people you know and trust. And a very, very important component is that you have to take your time. In other words, you have to feel each drink, no more than 2 standard drinks per hour, and pay attention to how you are handling the alcohol. You can have your friends give you feedback as well, because oftentimes you may not feel as buzzed or drunk as you are. And let's be real, your responsible limit may very well be 2 drinks. Take a look at this BAC chart. In looking at the psychological and physical effects column, you can see why it is wise to stay in the green and yellow areas, and why the responsible limit is less than 0.08. Beyond that, inhibitions fall to the wayside, and you may end up doing something you'll regret. Why do students drink? Family Feud style, top 4 answers on the board, in no particular order. Many students say they drink to have fun, but may really be coping with stress, boredom, anxiety, or pressures created by academic and social demands. For others, alcohol lowers inhibitions and is a way to manage social anxiety and shyness. When you take spaghetti out of a box, it's stiff, but once you put it in boiling water, it starts to loosen up. Many people like that wet noodle feeling. Do you know someone who cannot dance? They won't dare step on the dance floor when sober, but after a few drinks, they make it out there. Does alcohol make them a good dancer? No, it does not. It does, however, lower their inhibitions so they don't care as much about what people think of them. For those that say they drink to get drunk, they have a different agenda. I encourage you to be mindful of your expectations. Ever heard a friend say, "Oh, I've had such a tough week. I can't wait to go out this weekend and get wasted." Chances are very good that they're going to get wasted. They will likely consume alcohol at a faster pace and it will be absorbed quicker than normal due to their mood. Yes, mood plays a role in the absorption of alcohol. We'll discuss more ways shortly. Even though alcohol is classified as a depressant, you may initially feel more energetic or cheerful. A lot plays into how the alcohol will affect you, like the type of alcohol you consume, the mood you're in, and your surroundings. I've been around some people that are friendly with beer and wine, but give them some liquor and watch out. They want to fight. One thing is certain, the more alcohol you consume, the less able you are to control your emotions and reactions. Here we go. I don't know if you've heard about this, but ECU's Halloween night in 2014 got out of control. I can't speak for girls, but guys have these thoughts that pop in their head when intoxicated. The first one usually starts with "hold my beer," but it's "I got this." Liquid courage, they say, gives them the idea that they can do anything. Then if something bad happens, it's "I don't even care." In the moment, that is. They may wake up in jail or in a bush somewhere with no idea how they got there. Trust me, they care then. Here's an important life lesson. We all have 24 hours in a day. What we do at that time is what counts. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. If you overdo the party scene, you end up saying no to your academics. Not too many people can light the candle at both ends. Late nights don't make for productive mornings. Take a look at this guy. Sure, he made it to class, but is he present? Is he able to cognitively process what's going on? That's a negative. Now, when it comes time to study for the exam, he will likely feel overwhelmed because now he has to teach himself the material. The ripple effect of these late nights just become too much for a lot of freshmen. As a matter of fact, alcohol is the #1 cause of freshman dropouts. Why are freshmen the most at risk? Think about it. Think about yourself. If you're an upperclassman and drank your freshman year, do you drink differently now? When I ask this question in class, the answer is pretty much always a resounding yes. Take a look at this recipe for disaster. With the newfound freedom to do whatever you want, the sheer availability of alcohol at parties, tack on the desire to fit in, coping with the adjustment of college, and not knowing your responsible limit, it's easy to see how this can lead to risky behavior. The actual size of a standard drink depends on the proof. For example, a 12-ounce Bud Light equals 1 drink, but only 1.5 ounces of 80 proof liquor also equals 1 drink because they contain the same amount of alcohol, about 0.6 ounces. Where it gets dicey is when you think you're having 1 drink, but it actually counts as more. You may count it as 1